Welcome back, guys. What's going on? It's been a while, but we're back with the Get Established series here. All right, Flawless is out of creations. Will coming to you guys with another video this week, and really important video. You know, in this series, we really have it kind of chaptered out on different things that we want to make sure we point out and give you guys a heads up, especially if we're experiencing it ourselves. A lot of things that can be applied to traditional businesses can be applied to these very unique businesses like Reptiles. But across the board, it's not uniform that way. You know, everybody knows that Reptiles is not your traditional business. I mean, who in the world is gonna, buy a snake versus put food on the table? Yeah, I know most of you guys would, but that was meant to be a joke and to point out the obvious. This is episode 20 of the Get Established series, and today is going to be a very important one because we're diving into one of the most important topics as a new breeder, as a new keeper, especially if you're aspiring to be a breeder as the years continue one after another. Reinvesting profits for smart growth. Now, smart is relative. It's going to be objective in certain situations. There's no, one way to skin a cat. You can do this so many different ways. So again, we consistently put out our disclaimer on our approach. We want to be the glue that brings the community together and not trying to divide the community. So what we're giving you in this series, hopefully is extremely useful. Hopefully you can apply it as you see fit. You have our full support. If you want to engage with us in conversation, you can message us on IG. You can message us, wherever. It doesn't mean come talk to us at a show. I love conversation when it comes to business, and that's business across the board. You can help us out with merchandising. We're working on our inventory as far as that goes and building our product line when it comes to non-ball python product line inventory. But again, we're well versed in that area as far as I was professional bodybuilder. I still train. I'm a personal trainer. I do all these different things, wear all these different hats, all just a hairstylist. We do so many different things, but all of the businesses we've done prior to these businesses, Flawless Crested Geckos and Flawless is Out of Creations, were unique, but this ball pythons and reptiles is unique in its own way, like in and of itself, in a very special type of way. So once you're off and running, you're making some profits, you're making ends meet, you're getting your head above water, where do you even start? Where do you even begin to pay yourself more, pay yourself less, keep pinching pennies to make sure that you stay and remain profitable, and where do you reinvest? So I guess stage one of what you really want to address is why reinvesting matters. Well, reinvesting matters because you started this business and you wanted this business to pretty much pay for itself, but also produce revenue for you so it can be sustainable for the years to come and not necessarily a quick cash grab. Now, I'm sure there's ways to get into ball pythons. If you want to try to do the quick cash grab, we probably can kind of write up a video bullet point and go down things that you can try to do. But I don't think that would be productive or promising for the community as a whole. Unless, I guess you could spin it if you're dealing with certain specific combos, if you're trying to chase something very unique, boutique, and stay within a small number range of your productions. There's ways that you can do it, but again, it's off the beaten path. There's other ways and other very stable business plans and different fields that you can approach rather than doing that. What we're doing, yes, it's a business, but we're getting so much enjoyment out of what we do. I'll touch on it. Even besides the animals, guys, the type of family bond that we've been able to build over these years of even having flawless exotic creations, as well as flawless crested geckos, being able to go to parent-teacher conferences, being able to spend time with my wife every evening, every night, because I worked third shift for 7 years straight in my 10 years of being a police officer. Audra was a police officer as well. She was a deputy, but she worked at a different department. So we literally was passing each other going to shift. So there's so many different things that we've worked on, that I've worked on as a person. Being a better father, I feel like that's my best job. That's the number one thing that I'm best at, is being a dad. I work very, very hard day after day after day on being a better husband. But again, I strive to be flawless, even though I am not. That's the whole basis behind flawless, right? Even with our business plan and our approach, we strive to be flawless, but we know we're not perfect. The point of it all, though, is if you see something that's flawed, if you know that it's flawed, why not do something about it? Why continue to do the same thing and expect a different result? Why do something that a million other people or thousands of other people are doing and expect that you're going to do it the same exact way and it end up with a different result? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So back on topic, why reinvesting matters, sustainability versus a quick cash grab. Quick cash grab never wins, period. In the story. And to spin that, it has to be more. It has to be more than just your business brand. What are you known for? You want, the care of the animal. It has to be about the animal and the importance of a living and breathing creature as you're continuing to choose to create more and more every season. As you continue to move forward, you're going to want to make sure that you build your reputation. You improve on the quality, the growth of your growth, overall growth over the actual hype of what's going on in the community. The totality of all these things builds on your brand recognition as you continue to be hopefully a staple in the community that we're choosing to be a part of. So, which leads us to where to invest. Where do you reinvest? Well, you have to take a quick inventory of your business or your hobby. This can be literally, you can apply it to either hobby or business. And, it's going to be different for every single one of you guys, whether you have homemade racks, nothing wrong with it. Keep your homemade racks. Why improve on them? There's a few different things why you would improve on them. If you're having issues, would be number one. Fix those issues, gather a new diagram, build new ones, better ones, reinvest in professionally made ones, whether it's PVC or the steel racks. It doesn't matter, but you need to make sure whatever you're doing is efficient. If that's not an issue, let's say they've been working perfectly fine for you for years, for a decade or so, and you're finally literally making money. Some people would say, well, why fix something that isn't broken? Well, in theory, in reality, it's not broken. But in theory, there's other approaches where you want to fix it. If you're making money hand over fist, you're going to end up in a certain tax bracket with your business. And even if your racks are working, maybe they're not as visually pleasing as you may want. But guess what? Maybe essentially with the breakdown at the end of the year, again, if you're doing very, very well for yourself, it may actually pay you dividends for you to buy new racks regardless of who you go with. And now you bring new racks into your facility. It drops you into a lower tax bracket, which ends up paying you dividends because you reinvested into your business. And now you can reap the tax benefits of you being an official business. But again, talk to your tax professional on that. But that's on the equipment side of things. You may want to reinvest in your husbandry, animal health, your yearly or bi-yearly checkups of your animals, testing, for NIDO or whatever it may be. Bring certain things that's going to be a part of your business development into a new era where it's something that you can market and kind of build your brand structure upon, something you can stand on, your foundation as you continue to move forward with your reinvestment opportunities. Now that you're, and this is a touchy one, selective expansion, right? You're going out there, you're no longer just looking for cryptic, you know, you want to get cryptic into your collection. But instead of buying cryptic from maybe somebody that maybe not as well known, you want to go to the top of the food chain and buy for somebody that's very mainstream, the top of the food chain, and you want to buy directly from them. Now you're kind of able to make those decisions and choices on your reinvestment. Now, what I would advise on that is know and research your genes and the expressions of your genes. Know them in and out as much as you can. Don't base it, your new acquisitions strictly upon who's the actual breeder 100% of the time. Definitely take it within consideration, but you want to take the actual snake that you're considering purchasing and compare it to whatever other comparables are out there, if I could talk, and take the best expression, the best quality of that gene that you want to add to your collection. That's how I would approach it when it comes to a selective expansion of the genes that you're bringing now into your collection. Then we have reinvesting into the big one, the big topic. All right, it's going to be the superficial, the photography equipment. It's going to be the branding, the marketing, the social media, merchandise, logos, rebranding of logos, all these different areas you can reinvest in. And the whole point of the reinvestment is to hopefully to yield the most return on the back end of reinvesting into your company, into your business. Without having a plan, it'll fall apart right from the gate. You don't want to kind of shoot from the hip and just kind of do things willy-nilly as you move down the road. You want to make sure you have a very decisive plan as you move. And even deeper, even if you have a plan, you want to throw obstacles out there of the possibilities of certain things that you know is possible going wrong, and what's your escape plan. What is your plan to circumvent that problem? All right, it leads us into part 3 of this Get Established series, and this is going to be the mistakes to avoid. These are going to be some very kind of touchy things because some of them won't apply to you, but if they do, you want to at least be aware that these things can happen. A big one: don't overextend yourself with too many projects. That was one that we had to head off right at the beginning of our building of, our entire collection. You guys know the whole story. So 10 snakes, baby, 10 snakes. And, here it is. We're at over 400 snakes later, mostly babies, but trying to make sure that you don't put too much on your plate that you feel overwhelmed. The way we went about doing that is building our projects around specific purchases of males, and outside of just buying that male, having a game plan initially 5 years out of what you're really trying to produce with that male, and then even further out, doubling that with a 10-year plan on where you want to go, what's the gene combination. A good example of it, if some of this is kind of falling upon deaf ears and you're not sure what it really means. If I like bongo, if I like spot nose, and I enjoy pied, I tolerate clown, and I think hypo is cool, then if I'm working around all of that, I will go out there and get, a bongo, spot nose, pied male. I will go out there and get either double het clown pied females, or visual on one side or the other, clown or pied or hypo. And basically what I would really be trying to figure out is how can I get the genes that I want in that finished product. And the finished product, we say finished product, but we're never finished. The finished product in there would be starting there and trying to get to a bongo, spot nose, hypo, clown pied. Okay, yeah, depending on where you start. I mean, that's still maybe a 10-year process to hit that triple visual of a allelic combo. But again, I just want to throw that out as an example. It's very quick how you can come up with these game plans. You never really know how it's going to look on some of them. All I do suggest for people is when you see some of these crazy combos, give people their props. Kudos to them. We love everything that everyone's creating, but I always look at something, and even if it's something that we're purchasing, like, man, that's cool. But for me, I want that because I'm gonna make that a piece of the puzzle that I got going in my head. It's just a puzzle piece to get us to complete our puzzle, if that makes sense. So don't overextend yourself. Don't have too many projects, because these projects will have legs. The legs will have legs, and you'll be stuck running out of space and trying to condense your projects and selling off certain things, not necessarily because you want to, but because you have to. We are still building, and we will probably continue to build for the next 2-3 years, and then it will kind of slow down for us on specifics on what we will keep and what we will let go, and what we will be adding year after year after year. And at that point, we probably will be using the majority of all our racks. We still have racks that's not plugged up. So next thing I would say would be, don't ignore your husbandry for flashy, flash in the pan morphs. Meaning, don't get the next kind of hot thing and put the things that you necessarily need on the back burner. Meaning, if you know you need to order tubs, if you know you need to order cocoa, and you order it in bulk, and maybe you're gonna kind of not order it and just pick up a few bags because you're gonna spend that money and allocate that money to a newer acquisition, which now adds a new mouth to feed, a new body to use your husbandry on. It's just, use your funds for exactly what your funding is supposed to be used for when it comes to this very niche business that you're attempting to build. And another one which kicks us all in the behind. Make sure you guys are keeping an emergency fund. Please, please, please have an emergency fund. We kind of really didn't have to worry too much, knock on wood, about that, because when we sell snakes and bring in revenue for the business that comes into the business, same thing that we do with flawless crested geckos, we really live a very calm lifestyle. We do a lot of home cooking. We don't do a lot of kind of expensive living out on the town type of lifestyle. So that being said, we're able to actually pay ourselves a decent little salary, which is very, very minor compared to what the revenue we bring in. So by doing that, the business itself always seems to have the funds to keep everything functioning and to actually have a fluff of excess funds for the business. I always say, we have a running joke. I would be talking with Tim or Darren back when we were buying, and go check out some of those unboxings, but we were buying tons and tons of different snakes. And I would hit them up like, oh man, we're gonna be eating ramen. We're gonna be eating ramen for a month on this 10,000 whatever snake. And it was just a running joke at the time, but that's how we really live our lives, is very basic, right? Where if you want to buy some clothes, I'm just making something up, but you want to buy some clothes, or you're saying no to some of these very basic, they're not necessities, so you just say no to them. But then you turn around and you see this, you have to have it, $2,000 snake, and it's on its way being shipped to you. I know it doesn't make any sense, but I say all that to make sure that the stuff, not even purchasing or acquiring snakes, but the stuff that vet visits, medicine, cocoa, whatever it is, make sure you guys have an allocated emergency fund that's there, and you don't use that to reinvest in its entirety into your business, because you can run into a lot of issues that way. So part 4, long-term reinvestment really compounds. All right, you're not going to see it happen for you at the snap of a finger. It's going to come over time. And as it comes over time, it's going to compound. That $10 you saved here turns into 100. That 100 turns into 500. That 500 may turn into 5,000. But if you spent that first $10, it will never get there. If you take that $10,000 and spend the entire thing, you cannot make it to that $100,000. So again, what you can save for yourself, you can reinvest, but reinvest literally with a plan and allow it to compound over time. And much for the beginners that are here watching us here at Flawless, you need to understand that smart investment, smart reinvestment literally builds the foundation for your business. It builds the foundation for your business. So investment as well as reinvestment, it just literally secures hopefully your future. It's for the longevity. You don't want your business to just last a year or two. You want it to literally be there for whatever your plan is. Ours is hopefully for the next 20 years. So we want to basically still be creating cutting edge animals and enjoying it like we're currently enjoying it. And hopefully maybe still doing videos at that time. Maybe we'll have like 10,000 videos or something. But it'd be really cool to continue having your viewership. Hit that subscribe button if you're finding any of this information useful, any of this information educational, any of this information helpful. Join the membership here at our YouTube channel. We would love to have you to be a part of the Flawless family. We have a lot of cool stuff happening, as well as a Discord that stays with some really, really cool information and comments going on there as well. But again, I'm going to wrap it up. That's Will. Flawless Exotic Creations. Keep watching and get established.